Hey guys, welcome to Noob by Design. We're just going to be continuing our Thief walkthrough series here. We last ended at the end of Chapter 3. We didn't fully finish Chapter 3, and the only reason I say that is because we didn't start Chapter 4. So between the end of Chapter 3 and the start of Chapter 4, there's a couple things that you just have to do, mainly just getting to some cutscenes that you have to watch to figure out what you're going to be doing in Chapter 4 there. So we're just going to be walking through Stonehenge here and basically working our way to our next cutscene. So you can see we're being fairly cognizant here of where guards and stuff like that are, because obviously we don't want to jump down right in front of a guard. And now we're just managed to get up to the Crippled Brick, which is the first cutscene that you have to get to from Chapter 3. So you can see I skipped through the cutscene as I always do in all these videos. Just so that it doesn't ruin the surprise for any of you guys on what to see during the cutscene. And there's just one quick item that you have to get here. It's going to be one of your documents that you pick up. And from there, we're just going to pretty much, continue to look around a bit to see if there's anything else we can pick up. But then we're going to restock our supplies. So as far as restocking the supplies, there's a lot of different things that you can buy, and it all depends on your playstyle. I'm not going to tell you that you have to specifically buy one thing or another, but I will say that you'll definitely find it useful for Chapter 4 if you didn't already purchase the wire cutters and you didn't already purchase the scalpel. You're probably going to want to do that because there's a couple opportunities for you that you can take some paintings, and also you pretty much need the wire cutters. I guess you can get away with it if you have a lot of health packs or a lot of food packs so that you can recharge your health, but it'll be easier if you make sure that you have the wire cutters just for a couple different things as well, and it'll come in handy later on in later missions. So I would recommend that you, for one, like I said, stock up on your arrows, make sure that you have everything that you need, and then once you have all that and poppies and stuff for your focus and food for your health, I would definitely say you should probably purchase the wire cutters for sure. Everything else is kind of, well, it's up to yourself what you want to buy, but it's up to yourself anyways what you want to buy. But I would definitely recommend getting the wire cutters because they're going to be needed for this next mission. You can see I'm just kind of checking out what else is available, even though I don't have the cash to purchase anything else. So we're just going to kind of do basically the bare necessities of it, with a couple other things. I'd also recommend, in conjunction with the wire cutters, if you have the money, upgrade your lockpicks, because part of Chapter 4 as well, you'll need to pick a door lock really fast, and it's just easier if you have better lockpicks to do it fast. And we'll get into that a little bit later on when we get to the actual lockpicks themselves. So we're going to keep on going through here, and we don't have to go this way, so we're going to go back again. Just having your map open is pretty handy to have so that you know basically obviously where you're going. And now we're going to go back into Stonehaven here, or Stone Market, sorry. And once we're back into there, we're going to walk directly to where Mission 4 starts here. So you can see we're going to get back up to height because there's a lot of guards patrolling around here. So we got to kind of find out where to go. We see that there is going to be a plate that we can grab here, so we might as well just grab that plate now that we have the wrench to do so. Now that we have the plate, we're going to walk back, and like I said, we're going to try to get to a higher up area because it's always easier to remain unnoticed when you're up high in this game. And you can see that we now know where we have to go because we can see it on our map there. And we're going to kind of keep going up here and check out, make sure that we can get a good view of the guards and where they are. And now I think what I'm going to do here is we're going to go on speed play just because there's nothing here that's super difficult aside from just basically watching the guards and everything like that. So we're going to kind of keep a little bit towards the corners of the map and work our way around to where Chapter 4 starts, which is just basically ahead of us right here. So you can see you got to go up through here, kind of walk back. There's a purse right here that we can grab, and we're going to keep going back through here, work our way through, and we're coming up to Chapter 4 in just a second. Again, like I said, for this chapter, if you haven't bought the wire cutters, you can get through it, but you're going to take a huge amount of damage. You're not going to take that damage right here, but you will take it just inside, I guess, closer towards the end portion of Chapter 4 where you have to cut some traps and stuff like that. So you can see we're just coming around and we're almost at where Chapter 4 starts. And there's not a whole lot of guards or anything in this particular area, just in that when you first come into the alleyway. So you can see we're about to start chapter 4. And now that we are into chapter 4, you get to see a long cutscene, which again, as soon as you walk right in, you get a cutscene, and then when you walk a couple steps forward, you get another cutscene. So we're going to skip the cutscenes like we always do, and we're going to go pretty much right to the actual gameplay. Notice my health is a little low, so we're going to fill that up ahead of time, and I kind of wish I did that a little bit earlier than I did. So here you can see that there's a ton of guards that are patrolling. There's going to be 2 guards coming around to your left here, and they patrol in kind of a square. So again, we're using, instead of throwing something, we're using a blunt arrow to distract their attention, and that's just to see how many guards there is. I do that to kind of figure out what we have going on. And once we figure out what we have going on, you can see that there's 4 guards in the center. 2 patrol in a circular square. 1 right by the door is stationary, and 1 kind of walks forward. So you can see this is the lock I was telling you that you have to pick really fast. In conjunction with that, there's also a light that turns on and off. It kind of flickers. And if you get caught under there picking when the light turns on, it's they're going to catch you pretty much right away. So we turned off that steam pipe there. And then you can't hear it because I have it muted, but there's a dog barking in the back, which does draw attention to you. You can go back and knock that dog out with the gas if you want to, but alternatively, you don't have to. I didn't knock him out, and it wasn't a problem for me, just because I kind of went to the back of the steam pipe really quick there. Like you just seen there, that was one of the reasons we needed the wire cutters to skip from that trap. And now we're just kind of in the architect's house here right now, looking around and just having a peek to see what's going on. Again, nothing here is particularly difficult, so we're going to keep on speed play here to kind of get through it pretty quickly. This is the switch that turns it around and has us enter into the actual architect's place itself. Again, we're going to use wire cutters here in case we need to go back through there. So you can see there's a patroller right here, and he patrols down. When we peeked into the room, we seen him. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait in this closet here until he moves away. Because it's kind of semi-dark in here, if you crouch, you can walk right by him here and he doesn't even see you. So you're going to wait till he goes down the stairs. You can't actually knock that light out. If you want to grab that, you can. It's worth 40 gold, so it's actually kind of worth grabbing. So now we're just kind of walking in. We're still in the kitchen area here, and now we're going to walk through to the back. This was unnecessary that I stayed in here this long, but I like to kind of get an idea of what's happening and if there's patrollers. So I find if I could stay in somewhere for a while, you'll be able to tell if there's a patroller. So it's pretty clear to me now, after staying in here this long, there's no patroller. But I can see that there's a shadow of a guy ahead here, so I'm going to turn out some lights, and we're going to make some noise so that he gets distracted away from it. So now that all the lights are away, now we're going to walk up here and slam this door closed. Slamming that door closed is going to attract his attention, and we go around the other way now that he's walking towards to see what the voice is, or what the noise was. So we're going to walk in here again. We're not familiar with this level, and we're just basically here, we're waiting to see what patrols are and what's happening. Now that we figured out there's not really too much happening, now we're going to kind of go around and investigate. So you can see we walk into here, and it's clearly not where we have to go. And the reason we're kind of doing a little bit of exploring is because it doesn't actually tell us where we're supposed to go. So now we're just kind of messing around here and see that there's a couple things to grab, so we'll do that right quick. This is where you could see the other side of the room where the ladies are walking through, and we're going to kind of keep going and figure out where we have to be here. So again, as soon as you get somewhere, you want to put the lights out as soon as you can, like especially candles and stuff, because they're super easy to put out. And we're going to keep doing that and walking up the stairs, and you can see here, this is a guard knocking on the architect's room. And just crouch down and you should be able to get right behind him. Blow out the candles, and here's where you can collect one of those pictures that I was talking about. It's going to be one of your new collectibles. And he's so distracted that he has no idea what's going on. He doesn't even notice the light going out behind him there. So here we're going to keep going. Again, putting out any source of light as we can. And now we're just on, if we had it turned left or right at the top of the stairs, it would have brought us right to here. And you can see that here is a room, and you can't hear the conversation because I muted it out, but basically the lady is telling the guard that the architect has came in here and disappeared, so there's some sort of hidden trap in this room. I tried figuring out the easiest way to do this without knocking anybody out or fighting anybody or anything like that, and it was a little bit difficult. I couldn't sort it out, so we're just going to go the quick way here, and we're going to shoot gas at him and then kill him, basically, is going to be what's going to happen here. Alternatively, you could also knock him out. Actually, in hindsight, probably would have been easier to knock him out, but she was standing right there, so I didn't want to risk that happening. So we're going to keep going through here. We're going to shoot some gas at him, hand at her to distract her. And then because of that, he's going to attack us. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to barbed arrows, and we're going to take this guy out. So now that we've taken him out, she's running away. We're going to go into the bookcase here, and we're going to activate the switch to get in towards the back here. So now you can see we're kind of in a safe area. And this is where you get it's where you get into the elevator so that you can get up to the secret way into the architect's room. So we're going to work our way around here and in towards the architect's room and press this button. Basically activates the elevator so that we can go up to it. And we're going to ride the elevator up to the top. Speeding this footage up here because it takes a surprisingly long amount of time for this tiny little elevator to go this small amount of distance. So you can see now we're walking up towards here, and this is going to be the switch that turns around into the architect's room. And you can see as you walk in here that the architect has seemingly hung himself. And basically, when you get into here, this is a study, and you have to find out how to, well, figure out where the plans are. So we're going to climb up this ladder because there's nothing really on the main floor for us to figure out. Use our focus ability, and we can see the weighted and pulleys there that is holding them up. And also we can see that there's the plans, I believe. And when you press the switches on these plans here, it lifts up the city build on basically, I guess, all the stuff that he's designed as an architect. And that's kind of how you unlock the ability to gain access to the codes. So you can see here, there's a short little cutscene here where it appears to me anyways that the entire city pops out from the ground. And I'm not sure if this architect here did all the work on it himself or if it's basically just how he's designed his room there. So we're going to grab this telescope right quick because it's worth 45 gold. And we see this basically little pulley here. So what we're going to do is we're going to knock it down and at least drop our architect friend here to the ground. Not that it's going to save him, but we'll at least make it so that he's not hanging there anymore. So now we're going to jump down towards the city thing, and the trick to this is, well, for one, I didn't really start it right, or at least it could have been easier. I would recommend when you guys do this that you start at the bottom because it obviously spins the top pieces as you go down. And the object of it is to match the building on basically in the right pane of glass that you can see just to the right of the stand itself. You want to make this building here match that. And again, you can see I kind of started at the top there. And every time you spin something below it, it moves the top. So everything isn't really in line. So I would definitely recommend that when you guys are doing it, you start at the bottom and work your way up. So now I kind of realized that now. And you're going to see that I start at the bottom here and try to work our way up from there. You can see that we're matching everything slowly as we get up there. And eventually we lock it into place. It spins this one around and bam, plans appear. So now that we have the ability to see where the plans are, we're going to just go ahead and grab those plans right quick after this short little cutscene. And then we'll start that portion of the mission as well where you gain access to the building. First, there's a neat little, I don't know if I want to call it a side mission, but it's kind of like a side mission in that you're basically escaping these guys that come in. So we're going to do that. And it's not super difficult, but this is the path I chose to escape at. And I'm assuming because they don't actually mark where you're supposed to go with this path, that there's probably more than one path that you can take. So the object of this, again, is just gain enough distance away from them to obviously escape. And like I say, there's nothing really like to guide you where to go. So I think you just kind of free run your way out and until you actually escape. And this one I assume is one of the ones that they want to target you to because there's a lot of cool little cutscenes and stuff on the way to it. So again, we're just going to keep running, and as we run, eventually we get to a point where we're able to escape and hang down through here. And again, a pretty cool little cutscene where he throws the rope and you grab on as best you can anyway, and you kind of keep going from there. So now that we're down here, we're going to find our way to the next area. By looking at our map here, we're going to find out basically how we're supposed to enter he gets into a little bit of a conversation here that you can't hear again because I muted it out. And then you can see that there's codes to a safe on the top right. And there's a specific part to those codes that I'll get into and explain to you guys later on. It seems like it would be obvious, but of course, it's not actually the obvious way to enter the code for whatever reason. And it ended up taking me quite a long time to figure out. So we're going to jump onto this rope right here and get up towards where it's telling us to go, just where that 7 meter, or I guess 6 meters now is. And we're going to slowly work our way to there. Jump back down through here, just right down through here, and work our way again still towards where it's telling us to go. Um, there's nothing too super difficult about this part yet, but in part 2 we get to kind of a little bit more complex here anyways with the actual mission, and that's basically the difficult part about chapter 4 is entering the safe code and which path that you take to the destination for it here. So again, we're just going to kind of get into the starter cutscene, which starts off entering into the tower there. But I think just because we're running at about 16 minutes right now, we'll call this to a close and continue in part 2 to finish off chapter 4 here. If you guys found this video useful or enjoyed it at all, please click the like button. It helps me a lot when you do, and thanks for watching.